410 shotguns explained. Hi there guys, I get a lot of questions of particularly younger viewers about what my views are on the 410 as a suitable calibre for a young person, especially for hunting and clay shooting, that sort of thing. And I'm constantly having to answer these questions, so I thought I'd just stick it in a video and I can direct them to that. This is my dad's BSA 410 made in Italy. It kind of takes down. He typically has always used this for humane dispatch for animals we're raising, or sometimes we might snare a fox that's been after the chickens or something like that and it needs to be humanely dispatched. And for that it's perfect. Barrel to the back of the head, nice clean kill, doesn't vaporise the entire skull as a 12-bore would. So it's great for that. And in fact you'll see these a lot of the time in shooting shops, cut down almost like a sawn off. And those are section 1, and those are actually designed for vets and certain other people who will apply for them for that purpose, for putting animals down. Sometimes, you know, like deer management people and that sort of thing will use them. But for hunting, not really to my taste. I mean, the swing, it's very, very light, so it doesn't feel good in the hand, and you know, it's a very small load. You're only talking like a small pattern compared to a 12-bore. So if you're a young person, it's going to be much harder for you to hit the target. In fact, I'd really recommend, if it is your first gun, go for a 20-bore. Don't worry about the recoil, because you can get yourself a light load to start with, and then as you become more experienced you can get bigger loads, until eventually you can have pretty much the same size load as you'd get in a 12. So you could buy a 20-bore and keep it all your life. So you buy one of these, a couple of years later you're going to buy a 12-bore. So, you know, it's going to be easier. If you're using it for air gunning type purposes, as almost like a replacement for an air gun, stationary targets, yeah, it's good for that. It's good for that. Garden shooting, obviously, if you've got some space behind the garden, it can be good for that too. But serious shotgunning, no, I'd go with a 20 or a 12 personally. But either way, we're going to find out. I'm going to do some testing. We've got some patterning boards, we've got the penetration test, we've got a range test, and we'll get a good idea of what this can do. So you can see here on the left I have some Ely 4-long 12.5 gram number 6 in 410, and on the right I've got some Noble Sipe 32 gram number 6 in 12-bore, and you can already see there's a hell of a lot more lead here on the right on the 12-bore than there is here in the 410. In fact, more than twice as much, which of course has a bigger impact on the pattern as it's going down range, which is why, as I said, you are putting yourself at a bit of a disadvantage with the 410. Interestingly as well, the 410 rounds generally are either the same sorts of price or actually a bit more expensive than 12-bore, simply because they're not so popular, and it's supply and demand at the end of the day. But, you know, obviously there are different size loads you can get for each, but these are fairly representative of the standard kind of loads that you'll be using. So let's get these two tested and see how they perform. So first up we've got the power test, and we're going to start out with 12-bore. Take it away, Thomas. Okay. Ready? Next up we've got 410. Take it away, Thomas. Okay. Ready? So next up we've got the range test, 30 yards against a roughly wood pigeon sized target, and I'm going to start off with 12-bore. Take it away, Thomas. Okay. Ready? Ready. So next up we've got 410. Take it away, Thomas. Okay. Ready? Ready. So last of all, we've got the patterning test at 20 yards, and we're going to start off with 12-bore. Take it away, Thomas. Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
And now it's time for the 410. Take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
So here we have the results. You can see we've got the 12 bore targets on the left, and we've got the 410 targets on the right. And you can already see the patterning test. Obviously, predictably perhaps, the 12 bore performed really well. On the right, the 410 also performed really well. Again, that's at 20 yards. Obviously not as much lead, but
No.
I'd be happy with that as a pattern. That's
That's
really nice. But then when we get to the range, things start spreading out quite a lot more. The 12 bore, still really nice. And the 410 though, it's really starting to spread out now. I mean, you can only see a couple of shots on target. So to be honest, I wouldn't be happy with that pigeon shooting.
I wouldn't
really,
either, no.
But you know, there we are. And now if we look at the power test for the catalogues, what page have we got to with the 12?
Got to... Gone that far. Got to about 251, which is eau de Cologne.
Okay, and the 410?
Has got to... Just through there. Appears to have just broken the surface of 169, which is musical instruments.
Right. So you see, I would have expected the 410 at that range, because that was the 10 yards for the power test, to be pretty much the same with just less lead, but it does seem there's a difference in velocity there as well.
It does. There, as you said, there's less lead, so that might have had a standing in why it hasn't gone so far through overall energy.
Yeah, I guess.
think it would still kill something though.
Yeah, but overall, still pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
So then, overall, it's not too bad. The 410, it was a bit predictable what I kind of expected. If it's up to 20 yards, it performs really well. Anything beyond 20 yards, though, you're getting the spreading out so much that I'm not sure if you would knock something down or not. So for me personally, if I was doing hunting, even your sort of stationary replacement for an airgun type hunting, I'd still stick with an airgun, even a 12 foot-pound one, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, there are people who not only shoot clays, but also real pigeons with a 410.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that comes down to maybe a different cartridge, but also your skill level.
And the choke, I suppose.
Choke, possibly, yeah, but personally, I'm not skillful enough with a shotgun to be confident in shooting with a 410. I'd stick to my 12 bore because I know I can knock stuff down with that.
Absolutely.
And provide clean kills as well, which at the end of the day, humaneness is of paramount importance.
Absolutely, but if you are doing garden shooting or humane dispatch, ideal. I mean, in fact, my dad, not too long ago, I think he got 3 wood pigeons with 1 shot in the back garden.
Very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. But I think that was like 10 to 15 yards away. It wasn't at any distance. If you are going a distance, then really, to be honest, either use a 12 bore or just use an air rifle. To be honest, but there again, as we say, if you are an experienced shooter and you've got a really high-end 410 and you've got really good cartridges and a tight choke, then you might see that as a challenge and something you want to get into.
Yeah.
But as a first gun, I would probably stay away from it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So either way, I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe.